What is up? Need for Speed Racers. It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut. Billion Dollar Builds, episode 15, where I started with $1 billion. I am taking every car in the game and building them into every class that they will fit, so that way no matter what you like, I've got something set up for you. We are running today with the DB5, the Aston Martin, the James Bond original. Pretty good little car. The reason we're skipping it out of order is because Sly QT was playing with it, and we stumbled upon something that's kind of fun. It's actually half-ass decent at A class. It's okay at A plus, and everywhere else is just a meme. But we're here, and so instead of doing just a separate build for a single class, I just figured we'd build it today, get you guys going, because it's actually kind of worth driving, and it's off meta. So let's dig into it. Let me show you what we've got for the Aston Martin. We're starting in B class today. The engine that we're going to use is the 4.0 liter inline 6. That's the stock engine. It is the first engine over. 282 brake horsepower when we start. That is the Iron Basic engine. For the parts, it's Iron Basic induction and ECU, Sport Bronze fuel system, Iron Basic exhaust, and then you're going to go with the Elite Platinum single turbo. The way this works is the single turbo actually outperforms the other opportunities because it actually kind of gets to its top speed eventually, and the other engines options, like if we did a screw or roots, neither one of those was better on the low end, and then it took away the top end. And at B class the car sucks anyway, so don't build it, don't worry about it, doesn't really matter. We're going to go with Sport Bronze Nitrous, Elite Platinum Road Suspension, Iron Basic Brakes, and then Elite Platinum Grip Tires like I like to do. No clutch, and then you are going to run the Sport Bronze 4-speed transmission, and then make sure that you put on that differential. Auxiliaries, they work. Make sure you equip both of those for however your preference is. I like to micro drift, so we run drift and grip. Handling slider all the way full Beyonce to the left, 80%. Steering sensitivity 2 clicks high. Downforce, last 3 clicks are yours. So you got 1, 2, and 3 right there. That is B class 159. Everywhere else is A class. So I would say those last 3 clicks is your happy spot. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. Car sucks at B, don't build it. There's too many other cars that are really cracked in B class for this to be viable. But in A class, it's actually kind of decent, so let me show you what we've got there. Shout out to Sly QT for this one. He actually went back and started developing this car because he wanted to drive it, and it's actually kind of good at A class. It is not a Testarossa, so on the speed tracks, the Rossa is still going to walk because it's the meta car. This is really pretty good though, so stay away from the Corner Kings, but if you're doing like Lakeshore Express or pretty much any of the tracks where you're actually running towards the top end of things, this has got a decent top speed, and it does get there, and so you can walk people that don't have their driver mod installed, that's for sure. Alright, so let's get into this one. Compliments of Sly QT, we're running the third engine over. It is the 4.0 liter V8, 503 brake horsepower when we start. That is the Sport Bronze engine. For the parts, it is Silver Pro induction, and then it's Bronze ECU, fuel system, and exhaust. And then you're going to go Silver Pro single turbo. This car does pretty well with the single turbos. It's kind of an anomaly, but it really does help it on the big end, and that's really what we're looking for with this car because it's not very good on the short track. It's a little twitchy, but it does alright. Now, with all that being said, we had extra points to play with. If we went down on the exhaust or down on the induction and then up on the exhaust to try to add a few more points, it just kept taking us out of the class due to the way the speed configuration and stuff was. So for that reason, with the extra points, you get to run a super gold bottle of nitrous. That's pretty sweet. That helps get through that acceleration, get you out of the gate, and it does make this car a little more viable. So run the gold NOS, be happy. We are running Elite Platinum Road Suspension, Iron Basic Brakes, and Elite Platinum Grip Tires. Iron Basic Clutch, and then you're going to continue to use the 4-speed Sport Bronze transmission, and then as always I run the Elite Platinum diff, and then auxiliaries work, so make sure you do whatever you like. Drift and grip is what I recommend. Handling slider full Beyonce to the left, 80% grip. Steering sensitivity 2 clicks high. Downforce last 3 clicks is A209, everything else is A210, so keep it in that zone. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. Now that's the grip version. Let me show you Slide QT setup for the drift version because it's a little bit different. Slide QT's build for the A-Class DB5 is very similar. We use the same engine and setup and parts for the most part, so it's the 4.0 V8, third engine over, Sport Bronze engine. It is Silver Pro induction, and then Bronze ECU fuel system and exhaust. We're continuing to use that Silver Pro turbo. You do need to use Silver Pro nitrous when you go into the drift side of things because it just adds a couple extra points with this car, which is weird. It's usually the opposite, but hey, we're out here. Grippers on top, we got more NOS. So Silver Pro bottle, Elite Platinum road suspension, regular ass brakes, and then you are going to run the Elite Platinum road tires. Slide says that the drift tires are just omega crazy. The road tires are the way to go. It keeps the car balanced and you can still drift it very well. So you drift racers, that's where you want to be. Iron Basic clutch, and then we're going to continue to use that 4-speed Sport Bronze transmission. Make sure you grab the differential because we're using all of the slider now, and then auxiliary is drift and grip. For the handling, slide the slider all the way to the right, 60% drift. That's where Slide QT likes it. You can back it off some and add more downforce if you want to back it off a lot. So you can play with that slider a little bit. Like if you wanted 20% or 25%, you just add a little more downforce to it and it works. But Slide was recommending 50% drift on the downforce, and then, or 50% drift on the handling slider, and then downforce right in the middle. That's where he was happy with it. He thought the car was set up pretty well that way. So you guys do whatever you think, but you can play with those two sliders and get your personal preference. Traction control off, drift entry is brake tap. That is going to be the A-Class DB5. 519 brake horsepower, 526 on the torque. It's pretty balanced, it's pretty smooth, and it's pretty fast. It does about 167, 168. Yeah, that's about it. It doesn't redline tech very well, but it's pretty fast. It's not a Testarossa in A-Class, but overall, it holds its own pretty well. So as long as you're not battling somebody in one of those, you'll do really well on the speed tracks. So don't sleep on this one. Let me show you what we got for A+. All right, I got A+ grip and drift before us, and here we go, boys. We're already starting to max out the car, as we do. And we know where this is going. We're going to get to S and S+, and it's going to do nothing. But anyway, we're here, and A+ is decent. Hard to drive, but decent. All right, engine. A case can be made for both the 4.0 V8 and the inline 6. The inline 6 has got a lot more power and overall accelerated better, but you kind of get what you get with it. It's a little hard to control, but that's the nature of the beast with this car. So run with it what you will. But we're going to use the Iron Basic engine, the first one over, the 4.0 liter inline 6, 282 brake horsepower when we start. Slide QT tuned this one up, and then we've got drift and grip here for you. So we're going to go grip right now. It's Elite Platinum intake, ECU, and fuel system. And then you go Silver Pro on the exhaust, Elite Platinum screw supercharger. Not bad. You're going to go Sport Bronze nitrous, and then Elite Platinum road suspension, and then the grip tires. Don't touch the brakes. Don't touch the clutch, and then keep that 4-speed in it. It's the only way we keep it in the class, because as soon as you start to put the actual transmissions in it, it just goes crazy. We do run the Elite Platinum diff. You need it, so that way you can get the most out of that handling slider, and then auxiliary is drift and grip. For the handling, it's all the way full Beyonce. Once again, to the left, 80% grip. Steering sensitivity, you do you. Downforce, last 3 clicks. That is 269 and 268. Actually, holy shit. Only these last 2 clicks are S. I got a little confused there. So you can do anything you want with that downforce. Honestly, high end's probably going to be a little better. This car's twitchy though, you guys. Once you start to drive it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. That is the grip version of this. It's not too bad. If you want to go drift, all you're doing is running over, you're switching to the road tires, and then just running the slider to the right. You'll see when we attach the road tires, it takes us to 272, but when you take the handling and then you slide it over to the grip side of, or the drift side of things and go 60% drift, it's the last few clicks there. So it's from there all the way over. Really the only difference is road tires and grip tires for you drifters out there. Slide QT was saying that honestly it's okay at an A+, but really the A-Class one is the one that we're writing home about. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. So either or is going to be okay. The S version is where we start to get a little spicy. Let me show you what we've got there. At S-Class, we've got a ton of power crammed into this thing. The engine that we use for both grip and drift is going to be the 4.0 liter V8. That's the third engine over. Sport Bronze engine, 503 brake horsepower when we go. So we'll count 1, 2, 3. It is right there. Now for the parts, it's Elite Platinum, all of them. So it's Elite Platinum induction, ECU, fuel system, and exhaust. Mate that up to the Elite Platinum screw supercharger, and then you slap in an Elite Platinum bottle of nitrous, Elite Platinum road suspension, and then Elite Platinum grip tires. Keep the 4-speed transmission. We do not do brakes and we do not do clutch, so leave those alone. And then differential, make sure you put that Elite Platinum diff in there. That way we can get the handling slider moving. Auxiliary is drift and grip, as I do for micro drifting. Handling all the way to the left, 80% grip. It's kind of the standard for this car. Steering sensitivity, whatever. And then downforce, last 3 clicks. That's 329. Well, last 4 clicks, excuse me. It's basically 1 click to the right of center, and that's your area there. Now, if you're a drifter, it is the same type of setup that we did for the A+. You're going to come in here, you're going to slap on the road tires, stay away from the drift tires if you're a drifter. Sly QT says the drift tires just make it too wild, too papega. So go over here, and then you have from 25% drift all the way to the right. And so you can put your drift percentage anywhere you want that you're comfortable with, and then just play with your downforce to match. Honestly, all the way low is okay. Middle of the road is decent. Slide ran it all the way high. He said that was where he liked it for the drift with the road tires, but at the end of the day, you're going to get the same results. Traction control off, drift enter, brake tap. So that's both grip and drift. It's the same build, and that is maxed out all the way. So keep an eye on that, guys. It's 1025 on the horsepower, 966 on the torque in foot-pounds, and that's the S-Class version of this car, fully built. Let me show you what we have for S+. I don't know why we're here. This is such a waste of fucking time, dude. Don't build this car at S+. It doesn't keep up. It doesn't compete. It's literally better at S. I mean, it's literally got the same power. All we've done is add other shit that doesn't matter. But hey, higher number, more better. And some of you guys are just hell-bent on being like, yeah, you know what? I'll probably build that car in S+. I need an off-meta Slayer. I swear to God. Let's go through it together, boys. Alright, so when we dig into it, the engine options are this. I have every engine built out. It's full everything. All of it, the most bestest, more better you can get. And when we do that, we're looking at the 4OV inline 6, 846. That's got 950, 1025, 966. Weird, that looks a lot like S-Class. V6, less horsepower and torque. V8, less horsepower and torque. Flat 6, less horsepower and torque. No way, that's crazy. And oddly enough, none of them even have a higher top speed. So once again, the 4.0 V8 is the way to go. Third engine over if you want to be a mad lad and build it. And just slap on the very best parts that the game has to offer, and it's still not going to be competitive. But hey, we're out here. Literally, it's the S build with better brakes, better clutch, and then you slap in a 7-speed transmission, because why not? We can. You can really do any transmission you want, because to be like transparent here, 221 is a lot more reasonable for this car than 233, because when you start to get above anything that's like 210, this car gets really rowdy and it's really hard to control. Put any tires on it you want, drift, grip, regular, off-road, doesn't fucking matter. It's undrivable. At this level, the car just gets oversteery and just wants to kill you. Don't do it. Little asterisk though, in the S-Class drift version, you have extra points, so you guys can go throw on Silver Pro brakes. I was playing with that right after I shot the clip, and I was like, well, I guess we can do more brakes, but honestly, we don't need them anyway. But anyway, if you wanted to do that at S, you could. This car is not S+. Do not build it. Do not waste your money and your time. I don't know why I waste mine, but we always seem to get here. It frustrates me to no end that we've got all these engine options, and none of them make the car competitive. Like, give me some spicy shit that I can put in here to make it go zoom. Like, give me the Vulcan engine. That'd be cool. But hey, we don't have it. Whatever. Why give us what we want? It's fine. It doesn't matter. We're not interested in actually going fast or playing the game appropriately. Build it at A. It's sturdy. A plus, decent. S, fully maxed out. You're not going to get more performance out of it, and it's a little underwhelming, but it at least can kind of keep up there. B class and S plus are jokes. Do not waste your time. But hey, we're here. That's what's up. Same horsepower as S class. 1025, 966. Good fucking luck, dudes. I will continue to keep this car at A class because that's the one that I think is where it's at. You guys do whatever you want because you're going to do it anyway. And then be in my comments like, oh, Cornnut. So anyway, I'm going to build it at S plus because I trust everything you said and I follow instructions really well. You can drop a comment down below on what class you're going to build it on. That helps other people get involved with the video. Like the video if you haven't yet so that way others can see it. There's other people that are just blatantly taking any build that we've put out, putting it on their channel with no shout out, and then they claim it to be their own, and people are like, oh, thank you so much for this wonderful quality content. It's like, shit, I wish I could rip off people and get a channel off of it, but that wouldn't be a very good channel, would it? Because there's nothing there. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.